A Reno family is living through a nightmare after their teenage son was paralyzed in a trampoline accident. 18-year-old Joshua Southworth is now working to regain some of the use of his hands and legs, but the progress is slow. And in the meantime, the family just got more devastating news. They are now on the verge of losing their home. So how are they holding up? Well, you might be surprised. Joshua Southworth's entire life changed in an instant with one high-flying flip on the trampoline. The 17-year-old landed awkwardly and broke his neck as his brothers watched in horror in the backyard of their Red Rock home.
Josiah comes in, walking in saying, Joshua just seriously got hurt and we need your help and just to come outside.
The accident left Joshua paralyzed from the neck down. He spent the next month on a ventilator in the intensive care unit at Renown before being transferred to a rehabilitation center in Salt Lake City. His mother, Faye, has been by his side the entire time, from Reno to Salt Lake and back.
It's the only thing that keeps me going is just letting him know that I love him every day.
And that support may be paying off. Josh is slowly getting some feeling back and is able to use his thumb to operate his wheelchair and other electronic devices. They are incremental, but not insignificant signs of progress. The long-term outlook is still uncertain.
I'm just so proud of him for how hard he pushes.
One thing Josh does have is the love of his family. Dad Mike, Mom Faye, and 7 brothers and sisters who do their best to keep a smile on Josh's face. Sometimes it's a funny video on the computer. Other times, just a simple dose of brotherly love, according to 12-year-old Jeremiah.
I mostly hug him and I try to keep his spirits up.
Joshua admits he has good days and bad. He says getting the breathing tube removed from his throat has been a big relief.
I can breathe, I feel human again. Got my appetite back.
And one thing he never lost is his unselfish attitude. Joshua told us during our interview that he thinks it's better that this accident, as tragic as it was, happened to him and not someone else.
I always tell myself to help me stay positive. I think it was better me to get injured than any of my family.
Why is that?
I couldn't see them in this situation at all.
And if all this wasn't enough for them to deal with, the family was dragged into court last week where they found out they're being evicted from their home. They now have 2 months to find a place big enough for 7 of their kids that is also wheelchair accessible. Mounting medical bills, including one for nearly $500,000, are putting the family in a financial hole that's hard to comprehend. They do have insurance, but it's unclear how much it will cover. Some of the bills are sitting on the counter, still unopened and piling up. On top of that, Josh's dad, Mike, lost his job with a local concrete company because he missed too much work taking care of his son. And then the eviction.
We were able to catch the rent up, but we weren't able to catch the late fees up. So that's what the judge decided.
The family isn't sure where they'll go next. This loaner van they used to transport Joshua to and from Salt Lake City has to be returned soon. So they're looking for a new one. Without a van, they have no way to get around as a family or get Josh to his therapy that he needs in Salt Lake. It might sound like the world is caving in on them, but that's not the way the Southworths see it. Their love for each other and their faith gets them through some very tough days that most of us could not even imagine.
And you seem to be just very strong and tough about this whole situation.
Yeah, I do my best to stay positive.
And as Joshua's attitude shines during the toughest of times, his father's does too. Mike knows his entire family is relying on him in a way that no dad could ever plan or prepare for.
I guess God thinks that I can handle quite a bit, so he's put on quite a challenge for us and for me in general.
Amazing family. They are hanging in there the best they can. If you would like to help, a family friend of Joshua's has set up a GoFundMe account to to help raise money for that new van that they need to get around. And you'll find it under the name Joshua Southworth Van Project. And you can go to our website, MyNews4, to find a link to the GoFundMe site. Of course, they can use all the help they can get.